Good morning and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom Live. This morning we are talking about, I'm just checking my Facebook on the laptop so I can see the comments. We're talking about setting boundaries and the importance of doing so. So without boundaries, we allow people to walk all over us. We allow people to steal our time, our energy, and we don't have any direction in our life. So we may decide we're going to do things, as in change jobs or move states or buy a car. And everybody might have an opinion. So it's about setting up boundaries to say, I want your advice or I don't want your advice. Okay. So how do you set up boundaries? Good morning, and say hello when you come on so I can see who's here and see if I'm getting the comments. So setting boundaries is very important for spiritual development. When we start to awaken or up-level spiritually, it is something that is like a lighthouse beam or a signal to other people that we've changed. People don't like us changing because because what they like to do is to see that they can still manipulate us. So think about the people in your life that maybe you've got some toxic people that are always stealing your energy one way or another. So you have friends who may be nuisances. Good morning, Rebecca. Friends who may be nuisances in the sense of they phone you at the most inopportune times, right on meal times, or they're always texting you with, what do I do with this drama? Think about people who ask you to help them with their relationship. I've had a breakup with my boyfriend or my husband, and I've had enough of him. You know the story, you know the way it goes. So you give your advice lovingly and caringly, thinking that that's what they really want, when all they really need is to vent. And then a week down the track, they're back together. And because you gave advice, now you're the bad thing. So these are people that really don't respect you. Setting boundaries is about respecting your own energy, your own space, and showing other people that you do that by allowing them to not move into your space. So if we have people that come into our space, like, you know, when you walk into a room and somebody comes at you right up to your face, it's not comfortable. So the easiest way for things like that is to take a step back. That is a subconscious thing that with body language shows the other person that you're not comfortable with them being in your space. It's not appropriate. So how do we set boundaries? Well, first of all, we assess all the relationships we have in our life. We work out who's giving us stress, who's stealing our time or our energy, or who robs us of feeling great. So write down a list of those that are stealing your energy, possibly giving you negative or toxic energy. You may find people at work that you have to work with. However, morning LRH, you may find people at work that you have to work with, you have to be around them, but you know they're toxic or they're drama queens. So protect yourself with beautiful white light, or you can use a golden orb. When you're an empath, you're going to attract more of these people to you, because those who don't have empathy see us like a beacon, and it's like they want what we've got. They want to know how we feel. This is what happens with narcissistic people. They are drawn to us like moths to a light because they don't have empathy. They want empathy. They want to steal our empathy, and they want to control us. So you need to look at the people who want to control you. You need to look at the people who are drama queens, the people who are psychic vampires that steal your energy. Every time you're happy, they need to bring you down. Or they need to talk about woe is me, the victim mentality. So when your energy is depleted and you haven't got great boundaries, you don't have good self-esteem, you don't have great self-care and self-love, and you don't focus on what's important to you. So by not setting boundaries, we're telling people we don't value our time, we don't value our energy, we don't value our space. So letting someone come at you like this is showing them that's okay. So think about it when we're talking to children, we set boundaries with children. You can go and play in the neighbourhood, but only to there where I can see you. You can't go around the corner. Or you can ride your bike up and down this street, but no further. Or, yes, you can have playtime after you've done your homework. That's setting boundaries. It's not setting rules so much. It's setting boundaries. And the children know that they must do something before they get rewarded. So think of it in that respect. Are you rewarding people for their bad behaviour? Are you rewarding people for their bad behaviour? It's not appropriate for you in your growth to reward people who steal your energy, to allow them to keep doing it. You know, the friends that actually ring you right on mealtime, send them a text and say, having dinner, call you later. Don't answer the phone. Or for those who are drama queens that ring you with every tiny little thing that's a problem, that's not really a problem, but they make a problem, a mountain out of a molehill, don't answer the phone. Leave it. And then send them a text, maybe an hour and a half later, because by then the dust will have settled and they've gone on to somebody else. They'll learn that they're not going to get instant gratification from you. They will move on to somebody else because they're drama queens. So when you are feeling depleted by somebody because you haven't set boundaries, you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel more need for more sleep. You're going to feel low mood. Your mood will be terribly deflated and almost in the gutter. You'll want to eat more carbs, more comfort foods. You'll want comfort foods. It's just the way it is. Your body will crave it. You'll start to feel anxiety heightened and more depression and increased negativity. You'll start to feel negative because all this stuff is coming at you and you feel like it's hopeless. I can't do anything about it. But you can. You can, because you can set boundaries, very clear and distinct boundaries. Work out the drama queen. What time of the day would you like to talk to her? What time of the day? Maybe once a week. Set the boundary. I'm busy. Sorry, can't take your call. Busy. Let it go. Happy to talk to you next Saturday. I'm free between that and that. Or just change the subject. You know, the ones that ring or talk to you in a group situation that's always all about them and they never ask how you are. They don't want to know what's going on in your life or your day. It's all about them. Take the focus away from that and say, let's just change the subject to something really happy. So setting boundaries, be clear about what you can and cannot do. So being clear with people, please don't ring me between this time and that time. Imagine if you're working. You can't have phone calls between, say, 8 and 6, all right? Or you're driving. You can't have phone calls, so you don't answer them. We shouldn't. So people don't know what they don't know. If you don't tell them, they'll continue to cross your boundaries and push through. So set up rules for each particular person that you want to set a boundary with, the ones that are annoying you. And what I do is I always send a message to my mum and say, is it fine to ring you? Or are you up for a call? Ask the question or put the answer out there. Not today, but I'm happy tomorrow. Because we can't see what's in somebody else's life. So the people who are annoying you can't see what's in your life if you don't tell them. So know when it's time to step away or know when it's time to set clear boundaries. And it's not about setting boundaries, not barriers. It's not about putting up barriers so people can't get through. It's setting boundaries, clear and concise boundaries. When you set these boundaries, you'll notice that people will start. It'll take a while because people don't like change, and those that like to control or steal your energy want to keep doing so. So they'll push back. They'll push back harder to start with, but then eventually they'll get the message and they'll move on to somebody else who will listen to them. So it's time for you to say, I've had enough. In your own psyche, it's time to say I've had enough, and I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to set boundaries so that I have control over what happens and when. So know when it's time to step away, or know when it's time to set clear boundaries. And those boundaries might be, I will only be available on a Monday and a Friday for a phone call, or I can't catch up every week. Let's do it every fortnight or every month. It doesn't mean we don't care about each other. But those that are toxic in your family, it may be time to say goodbye, or just steer clear of those that are very toxic. Just checking to see if there's any questions at the moment. No. So ask questions if you want. Set boundaries with yourself. So once you start setting boundaries with yourself, like setting down distinct timelines of when you are working on something and when it's time for self-care, when it's time to shut down, or when it's time for you to say, I'm not doing anything today, I'm just having a me day. So set clear and concise boundaries with yourself. And if you're heading into what I call a vampire storm, remind yourself the reasons why you should not be forming any sort of attachment to this sort of person. So remind yourself why it's dangerous to you to be around somebody who is stealing your energy, someone who is negative, someone who brings you down. You know, when you're about to go on an outing and there's one person in the group that you know is just a pain in the backside, don't go. Or limit your time around that person, or don't talk to them. Say hello and goodbye. That's about it. In between, focus on other people. Use your body language. Cross your arms. This tells people, I'm not interested. You're not getting through. It's a bad body language if someone's supposed to be giving something out to you. But when somebody's bringing it back to you, it's doing this, is very much saying, I'm not letting you in and I'm not interested. And smile, but don't say anything. Smile often and don't say anything. If someone is giving you unsolicited advice, like, oh, what do you want to buy that car for? Just say something like, I appreciate you offering advice, but I really need to work through this on my own. Thank you very much for your advice or your offer. So when you're feeling people are trying to control you, step into your space, step back. I'd be interested to see what sort of things that you have difficulties with boundaries on. So if you want to pop it down below, I will answer. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Bye for now.